What was your first reaction when you saw the draw?
Just one of shouting and screaming in my lounge with the kids. I think everyone was round the house, all 7 of my children, and I think everyone was just running up and down the lounge. It was unbelievable.
I assume a phone call started very soon after as well.
I think I got a phone call within seriously about 30 seconds from the ball being drawn, and that was, I think it was the Daily Mirror that was the first ones that got hold of us, and it hasn't stopped since.
Since then, how have you been approaching it with the boys? How have you been talking to them about it?
Well, I think you've seen us train here today, and everything's geared up towards the game on Monday now. It's been very difficult because we had Solihull and Guiseley away, and Boreham Wood, of course, in the trophy to think about prior to this game. And that's been given due consideration. But ultimately, it's been hard for the players to focus. We've had suspensions and injuries. 9 players not available for Boreham Wood or Solihull or Guiseley. Miraculously, they're all fit today. Everyone's come back through. We sort of knew that they were getting very, very close. But worked really hard today. We're working again on Monday before the game here, and just going to put every bit of everything we've got, blood, guts, and everything into giving them the best possible performance we can.
So the last few results obviously haven't gone your way. Do you reckon they'll have any impact on Monday?
No impact at all. I think realistically, you've got to look at who's been available, who's not been able to make certain tackles because they thought they might get sent off. It's a bizarre situation as a footballer to think that if you did something wrong, which is why we had to take Rory off in the last 2 minutes against Guiseley. I think taking Rory off was probably an indication. I'd never do that normally in a league game, but I did it to protect him so that he got the best day of his life on Monday.
Are there any major concerns, like squad-wise, for the game, like injuries or suspensions?
No, we say we've trained really well today. Really good session, and everyone's come through it. Really pleased about that because again, it gives us the chance to pick the best side we can. Obviously, there'll be 1 or 2 disappointed. I totally understand that, but we do feel we've got a clean bill of health.
So again, we've sold out the entire ground. Do you reckon the atmosphere will be as good as it has been, or if not better?
Well, I think it'll be an unbelievable night. The atmosphere always seems better under lights. Whenever I've watched games as a Southampton fan, it's the night games that really seem to get going. And it's been amazing, the Wimbledon game and the Leeds game. It'd be hard to better, but I think just being under those lights and the fact that it's such a massive Premiership team coming should see the best atmosphere this ground's probably ever witnessed for a long, long time. I'll do my G up before the Wimbledon game and the Leeds game. I'm going to probably do that again because it's also my way of thanking everybody, for the support that they've given us. But the key thing for me is that those supporters keep coming back to the ground. We deserve now for the 5,000 that turn up here, which are Sutton people. They're from the borough in the main. We'd like to think that a lot of those people will return. If you look at historically, that's not the case. People will go and watch a team. They support Sutton for the day or support the non-league team in the draw at the time, and then their crowd goes back to normal. And my big hope is that people embrace this football club, embrace the community spirit that we've engendered over this last 2 or 3 years, and that's only going to get stronger and stronger. And that's my big hope, is that we end up with an average gate of 2,000 on a Tuesday night against Boreham Wood, as opposed to probably 500.
And regardless of the result on Monday, do you reckon this season's exploits have surpassed the Coventry in the 80s, the Coventry game?
No, I don't think anything needs to surpass, or what the club's done with Leeds United in 70, what the club done in 89 against Coventry. They're in, they're written in history. They're written in stone. And all I think that this team's managed to do is to put another chapter, if you like, and that includes the Leeds game now, and it will include the Arsenal game. It's not a competition about who's done the best. It's about this football club and the history of it. And what I do know is that these players of mine have definitely managed to create the history. It's not better than Coventry. It's just another fantastic moment in this club's 118-year existence. And the hope will be that there'll be another one in 3 or 4 or 5 years' time. But it's surreal almost. If you go through it, no one really expects us to beat Forest Green, who at that point had won, I think, 11 games on the trot and were the best team by a country mile at that point in the league. We then had probably one of the best games I've ever seen against Dartford. 1-1, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1 us, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. They had a good chance, by the way, to go 4-3 up. I don't forget that. And the 6 goals on the day were unbelievable goals as well. They were all brilliant goals. You then get drawn against Cheltenham, and I went up to Crewe and watched that one. And I've got to be honest, I didn't think we'd beat Cheltenham either. And then the magic man comes up in the last minute, gets us through that one. Then you draw the local derby, against our. It's good. They're good neighbours, but they've had most of the glory, if it's to be fair, over this last 10, 15 years. No one gave us a chance once we'd drawn here to go to Wimbledon on the Tuesday night. And again, the lads produced 3, terrific goals as well. We didn't talk about the goals enough, but Max Biamu's goal, I think, was on the back of an 8 or 9 pass move. To see the joy on the Sutton fans' night, that's probably one of the best nights of my life, I think, to be part of that, to be part of that crowd, the away crowd that night. Didn't think that could get any better than that. I thought the lock-in here after the Wimbledon game was one of the best nights that we've had. You then get drawn out against Leeds, and you think, wow, so the 1970 analogy comes back in. We somehow, beat Leeds United. Leeds United, by the way, we've almost dismissed Leeds United, but they're a massive club. Another brilliant lock-in after the Leeds United game with the supporters. And there's moments that you're never going to forget for me. Malcolm at Greengo coming and giving me a hug, almost crushed me because he's about 7 foot tall and wide. And then whispering in my ear, if you get a big one, I'll help you out, which he subsequently did. And then you're in your lounge and you somehow get drawn out against Arsenal. And it's a life changer. Our whole lives have been turned upside down the last 2 or 3 weeks. And, it's getting closer and closer now. And I just hope that everyone, whatever the result, and it could be 10-0, it could be 0-0, more likely be 10-0, that everyone has a fantastic evening on the back of it. Whether we win or lose, I think there should be another good drink in the bar afterwards, because that's what we're all about as well. And what we've then got to do, and it's massively important, is, assuming that we don't get through, is we then concentrate on the last 17 league games. And as I said, the players are aware what we need to do in those last 17 games. I can assure everyone that we won't get wrapped up into a real wobble, because we'll get it right. It might not be instantly, because there'll be a little bit again of a week or 2 of getting everyone back to normal. But we're making a couple of very good signings next week that will really enhance the squad and the team, bringing a recognised goal scorer in that we hope can do the job for us, and we're bringing in a quality left back as well. So with those 2 additions and what else we've got, then we'll be climbing the table sooner rather than later. But I do know as well it'll be a week or 2 after this game before it all really gets back to normal.